man was not meant to fly.
Air Jordan, basketball by Nike.
Programs normally seen at this time will not be televised tonight, so that we may bring you the following CBS Sports special presentation.
This was the scene a year ago in Seattle. And tonight, Georgetown and John Thompson are poised to join the great teams from the past that have won 2 straight national titles. San Francisco in the 50s with Bill Russell. UCLA with Lou Alcindor in the 60s. And the Bruins again in the 70s with Bill Walton. Like those champions from other eras, the Hoyas have been brought to this historic moment by a giant force in the middle. The overpowering presence of Patrick Ewing. Tonight, this superb athlete is playing his last college game. But Ewing's muscle is not the whole Georgetown story. For the supporting cast this year is better than ever before. These 85 Hoyas have more speed and depth than previous teams in the Ewing era. Rollie Massimino's scrappy Villanova team is the last hurdle in Georgetown's path to a second straight championship. And the Wildcats have their own blend of impressive skills. Their strong suit in this tournament has been an aggressive and complex defense. Villanova has held 4 opponents to under 50 points. On offense, the Wildcats rely more on poise and finesse. They will try to control the tempo of the game with a structured and deliberate style of attack. They are a veteran team with a history of playing Georgetown and Ewing tough. And tonight, these Cats are more confident than ever. So grab your bag of popcorn and step on inside the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. It's the 1985 NCAA championship between the Wildcats of Villanova and the Hoyas of Georgetown. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I am Brent Musburger. You know, this one championship game transcends a lot more than just this season. This is the end of the Patrick Ewing era, and after tonight, we'll know just how good this Georgetown team is. Only 5 schools have ever won back-to-back NCAA championships. It started with Oklahoma State back in 1945. The last school to accomplish that feat was UCLA. They won 7 in a row, and it finally ended in 1973. So now, Billy Packer, Georgetown is just 1 win away from joining the elite.
Well, Brent, just 2 years ago, we were saying Houston, 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 one of the great teams of all time. Now we're saying Georgetown, Georgetown, Georgetown. Remember, NC State won that game 2 years ago, so it's not without reason that maybe Villanova could do it tonight.
All right, Billy, and also with us tonight is our colleague, Dick Stockton. Let's go up to Dick.
Thank you very much, Brent, and good evening, everyone. You know, Georgetown and Patrick Ewing are not the only stories of historical significance. We may be seeing the last NCAA tournament game played without a shot clock. And for Villanova, it may be their best hope because no team has taken advantage of the lack of a clock better than the Wildcats. They would like to see a game in the 50s, cut a 40-minute game into a 20-minute contest, and use free throws down the stretch in a close game. But other coaches have their opinions, and this is what they feel that they would tell Rollie Massimino.
I really think he has a great chance of winning it if he spreads it out and holds the ball.
I think Villanova's defense will give Georgetown some problems. If they can control tempo and make it a 48-47 ball game, they got a chance to upset the #1 team in the country.
Really understands what has to be done to win.
If Rollie Massimino is a student of history, he knows that scenes like this 2 years ago have a way of happening.
20 years before that North Carolina State game, I knew anything could happen on any night.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only opinions that count are the 2 coaches. Massimino's the kind of guy you can walk up to and hug, and he'll hug you back. John Thompson is aloof, and he's a far more private person. But despite their differences, they both are superb technicians. Here's what they have to say.
It's probably more to our benefit if it's a high-scoring game. But
if we can keep it in the 60s and maybe in the 50s, then we have a heck of a chance.
Pinckney is a major factor, I think, because Pinckney has the ability to get the ball inside and create foul problems for people.
But Patrick concerns me. Probably more so than Edward concerns him.
Everybody's looking at poor Villanova. You know, they're the underdogs. The underdogs are not here at the last 2 games. They're a good team.
Well, keep in mind, Villanova played Georgetown tough in 2 games this year, but the Hoyas are playing exceptional basketball right now. Coming up, the NCAA championship game from Lexington, Kentucky.
NCAA championship. It's an all Big East conference affair. The only time in championship championship history since 1976, when, of course, it was Indiana and Michigan in the Big Ten. Billy, we talked so much about Patrick Ewing. We overlooked some of the other splendid stars on that Georgetown team. I remember Reggie Williams out in Seattle last year.
Well, 2 years ago, he was the #1 high school player in America. Last year, he was the MVP in the championship game, a superlative inside player.
Then there was David Wingate, who hounded Chris Mullen on Saturday.
Not only a super defensive player, this guy has probably the quickest first step with the ball in college basketball.
Over on the Villanova side, Ed Pinckney's the big man, but how about Dwayne McClain?
He's been a streak player throughout his career. Great ability, and on Saturday, he played 40 minutes of great basketball.
Coming up now, it's one game, and a national championship is at stake.
Tonight's 1985 national championship game between the Villanova Wildcats and the Georgetown Hoyas is sponsored by Chevrolet, who invite you to see, drive, and live today's Chevrolet. Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste. And by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts.
Meet the starting lineups for tonight's championship game, and here's the PA announcer at the Rupp Arena, Frank Fallon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rupp Arena for tonight's NCAA National Championship game between the Villanova Wildcats and the Georgetown Hoyas. Now, let's meet the starting lineups. For Villanova, at forward, a 6'7" junior from Mystic, Connecticut, number 21, Harold Presley. For Georgetown at forward, a 6'7" senior from Washington, D.C., number 24, Bill Martin. For Villanova at forward, a 6'6" senior from Worcester, Massachusetts, number 33, Wayne McClain. For Georgetown at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, number 34, Reggie Williams. At center, a 6'10" senior from the Bronx, New York, number 54, Ed Pinckney. For Georgetown at center, a 7-foot senior from Cambridge, Massachusetts, number 33, Patrick Ewing. For Villanova at guard, a 6'2" junior from Paterson, New Jersey, number 4, Dwight Wilbur. For Georgetown at guard, a 6'2" junior from Weston, Virginia, number 30, Michael Jackson. For Villanova at guard, a 6-foot senior from Hempstead, New York, number 22, Gary McClain. And for Georgetown at guard, a 6'5" junior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 40, David Wingate. And introducing the head coaches. For Villanova, Rolly Massimino. For Georgetown, John Thompson.
The tip-off is next. It's Georgetown and Villanova.
John Thompson and Bobby Diamond.
Georgetown's march toward basketball history began with Lehigh and then concluded with St. John's in the semifinal Saturday afternoon. As for Villanova, they came in 8th seeded in the Southeast region. They beat Dayton at home and then eliminated Memphis State in the semifinal.
got them the day before. An improbable team when this tournament started in the biggest field of all time, 64 teams. The Villanova Wildcats will now go down in history with the 1961 Cincinnati Bearcats, the 1966 Texas Western Miners, and the 1983 North Carolina State Wolfpack as the big shocking upset winners in the NCAA Championship Tournament. Villanova did the impossible. They beat Georgetown and will be back to Rupp Arena in just a moment. Villanova is the national champion of 1985, and Georgetown won't win its second straight. The Chevrolet most valuable players, Gary McLean of Villanova, and for Georgetown, David Wingate. And right now, let's go down to Brent Musburger.
All right, Dick, thank you. Ollie, nobody thought they could do it.
No one thought we could do it, but I did, and so did they. They played a great basketball game. I'm not even excited. I think it's really
Hey, it's April Fool's. This really didn't happen.
Did Georgetown win? April Fool's. It ain't April Fool's. We won.
Ed Pinckney, you come in here as one of the senior spokesmen. Tell me how this was accomplished tonight. This team had beaten you twice. They were a heavy favorite against you. What did you do to win this game?
We just believed in ourselves and a lot of hard work on everybody's part. Not only a team, but, you know, the fans, they were all behind us. Everybody from Philadelphia, hello, New York City.
Eddie, you early in the game, you went right at Pat Ewing. You, in particular, said we're going to come right to the big fella tonight.
You can't be intimidated, not in a game like this. It's the last game of the year of my career, and I just had to play my hardest.
Hey, how about Gary? There's a statue in Philadelphia of a guy standing up holding his fist. Tonight you were that guy playing in the backcourt against all that pressure. Incredible offensive performance on your part.
Oh, I just attribute it to our hard work. We worked so hard. Nobody in America knows how Villanova works so hard. We do, and this is what happens when you work hard. You win number one. You're number one.
Hey, here's your man, Jake Nevitt, coming up right there.
And this was also for Al Severus, the former coach, who passed away today, and I think he was swatting them away when they missed some shots.
Raleigh, let me ask you, over here at practice this morning, a couple of the players and your assistant coaches said we put in some new plays. What did you do differently against this team?
Well, we put in a couple of new sets in case they pressed us, and we worked right there at the end. That's what we were trying to do. It just worked well, and God was with us, and I love my mother and brother. I got to tell them, this is the greatest thing that happened to me.
Raleigh, one of the other things I want to ask you, at the end of the first half, you had to take Eddie out. He had the 2 fouls on him.
So we held the ball.
Right, so you held the ball. Well, you had to be happy that John didn't come to you.
Oh, I was very happy. All I knew is we had to cross that 28-foot line, or else it would have been a 5-second loss.
Fantastic going down there. There's no question.
One more senior, and then we're going to go up the deck. Dwayne McLean, you started out hot tonight. You were blazing away. Tell me what your thoughts were and how this team handled this enormous pressure.
Well, I knew if we controlled the tempo of the game, it would be in our favor. ESPN had our second game on earlier, and we watched that, and it really inspired us. I think Gary played an excellent game. I thank God for this win.
All right, what a great job done by Villanova. Let us go upstairs to Dick Stockton.
You'll get a city tonight, not a ring.
Thank you very much, Brent. And the Villanova Wildcats avoided a series of minefields to win this championship, starting with Dayton on the road. And then they beat Michigan, the top-seeded team in the Southeast. They beat North Carolina. There's John Thompson going up to get his trophy. He didn't win 2 in a row, but he is a great coach. Massimino brought his team against the toughest competition you can imagine. He beat North Carolina, came to Lexington, and beat Memphis State, and of course Georgetown, the top-seeded team, and Raleigh's got a title. We'll be back to Rupp Arena in just a moment. Well, Villanova has won, and here are the guys that did a superb job calling the game. And Billy Packer, when you said before the game, boy, the memory of NC State stands out in my mind. You were prophetic.
I never thought lightning would strike twice, but this is what makes college basketball the great game that it is. It was a sensational performance by a gritty bunch of kids.
Brent, Can you imagine? Here's a team that has allowed 39% shooting, and Villanova sets an all-time shooting record. Who can figure that?
It is a tribute to the senior leadership on that Villanova team, as well as the coach. Raleigh Massimino, again, Dick, did a superb job.
When John Thompson went into the four corners, do you think it was premature at that time?
No, I really didn't. I thought he was in the driver's seat and he could pull Villanova out. But the one thing that's so difficult, when you're playing against an underdog like Villanova and you put it in the four corners, he says, hey, I'm thankful to be just one down with you. I'll let some clock go off. And in that particular case, Georgetown turned it over.
Brent, could you sense in the second half, or at what point did you think Villanova gained a world of confidence?
I think that at the end of the half, when Reggie Williams came up with the forearms on Everson and no foul was called, and Raleigh Massimino took him into the locker room with that lead, I think that they grouped together and they said, we can take it to them. We beat them in the first half, and we can do it here in the second half. Let's go get them.
And they did it. The Villanova Wildcats are champions. The 1985 NCAA titleists for Brent Musburger and Billy Packer. Dick Stockton saying so long from Lexington. Now a moment.